interested in this list.
Hey, but we're live. Welcome to. It's
We're
not
alive?
welcome. I just left it up in the corner,
Oh,
but yeah,
see that.
but it's one of those ones. We're going to recap the what's the matchups for the Christmas characters bracket that is going to start um on the tape 3 page from tomorrow. I've got Matt Kearns here. Matt, any interesting things you're expecting in this bracket?
Just give me 1 second, Malcolm. Because I forgot to tweet the link. Sitting here talking about Arrowverse this whole time. Talking about Bracketeers. Just give me 1 second. What was your question?
Is there anything interesting you're expecting in this bracket?
So this is Christmas movie characters.
Yeah.
So for me, and I sent my list to Malcolm, and obviously he didn't show me the stuff beforehand. He didn't show me a list or anything. You didn't even show me your list. I'll have to ask you that after. I'm interested to see when we get into the what is and what isn't a Christmas movie if people pulling characters from that. Because depending on what people count, then the characters count. No, it's going to be interesting. I want to see Battle of Santas. That's what I'm fascinated to see how many different Santa Clauses we get.
Yeah. But yeah. One thing I will say before this, there are some characters that I decided just to sort of only have one version on here. Santa's not one of them because each version of Santa is different. So
yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
So there is going to be multiple Santas on here, but the Grinch, for one, like each interpretation of the Grinch is just going to be the Grinch. It's
That's
not going to
fair.
be, and it's the same with Ebenezer Scrooge as well.
I think
Just
I'll agree with that because I think even though you can argue each depiction, but like Santa Claus, like Scott Calvin is Santa Claus in the Santa Claus trilogy, but he is not the same as Chris from Santa Claus Has Come to Town. Like they're two completely separate people. Well, yes, being Santa Claus, whereas the Grinch, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jim Carrey, Boris Karloff, they're all the Grinch. There's just a different interpretation of. So yeah, I totally agree. Since this is characters ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, I will say with Scrooge, it was one exception that I did do for this. But I will explain more on that once we get to it
Was
because
asked for you kissing when you did that. Is it the duck? Is it Scrooge McDuck at Scrooge?
No.
Fuck. Damn it.
But
Right.
with that, I'm going to bring up the beggar I do not know. Yep, that's at the right spot.
Push the button.
But the first matchup we have.
Don't start the tournament.
The first matchup I have is Buddy the Elf versus Kris Kringle from Santa Claus Is Coming to Town.
I'm sorry, what the fuck is he doing solo at 32? You motherfuckers need to stop watching Die Hard 97 times or whatever the fuck Christmas movie. What? Stop watching the Christmas Carol. There are no good versions of Christmas Carol, and start watching Santa Claus Is Coming to Town.
But yeah, I mean, I think maybe there might have been a couple other people. This is one that I actually did find some other Christmas character lists and sort of threw them in here as well to see how I can shake it up. But with that,
kind of fuck everything up.
well, no, it's like I just thought I looked up on Google to see how many Christmas character lists there are.
That was like
isn't actually a lot.
Malcolm was like, how many lists can I pull in to take all of Matt's favorites and make them very, very low? Because Kris Kringle ranks pretty high for me.
Oh, I mean, on some of the lists there was a very high. I mean, you're part of the reason this version of Kris Kringle is in the bracket. So, but in this matchup of Buddy the Elf versus Kris Kringle, who do you do you think will win, and who do you want to win?
I want Chris to win, but he also gonna win because, like I said, there's like a bunch of people who follow Take Three who have never watched Santa Claus is Coming to Town because, well, no, it's stop motion animation. It's fucking old school. And all right, it's fucking. You could probably YouTube that shit. But so Buddy the Elf is going. I love Buddy. I think this happens a lot of times in these brackets to where it's like I love one more, but I also love the other one, so I'm not mad about this. I mean, also Will Ferrell's Buddy is great, and I love that movie, but it just stinks that Chris is going to lose because a bunch of people don't know about Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm not a big fan of Elf.
What?
Elf is one of those movies I enjoyed when it first came out, but the more I've watched it over the years, the less I've gotten enjoyment out of it.
It's your Force Awakens and Last Jedi for me. Enjoyed them when I saw them in theaters, and the more and more I've seen them, they've just dropped. That's fine. It's understandable.
But anyway, I do think Buddy will end up winning. I've seen various clips of the ranking of best things. I haven't seen all.
I would watch it. The thing is about it's one of the only depictions to where Santa Claus is young. Most of them he's already an old man. This one he's young, and it's interesting to see over the course of the film the transition into Santa as we know him. So at this point, I'm just trying to get people to go watch Santa Claus.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I've seen various clips of various ranking the best things. I don't know. I really don't know which one's which at this point. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of them. If they look fine, I might try and watch them at some stage.
Yeah, add that to a list of shit. Hey, Malcolm, how's the Rocky movies coming along? Also, I realized after I sing in my list, Rocky should have been my number one. Rocky 4 takes place on Christmas. It's a fucking Christmas movie.
Maybe someone else might have done that.
Did someone? Holy shit. Congrats.
But anyway, the next matchup we've got Mr. Parker from A Christmas Story up against Clark Griswold from Christmas Vacation.
Oh, this hurts.
This one, I think Clark Griswold's going to take this out. Like, I've never seen A Christmas Story, but it's one of those ones that I've heard a lot of mixed reactions to. I know there's people that really do like it, and there's people that just don't like it.
Well, okay,
but Matt, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
So first thing, my thoughts on Christmas Story are great. One of my favorite Christmas movies. I think the problem people have with it is it was a small movie when it came out that sort of gained a following, and then like now it's just like fucking TBS runs it 24 hours a day on Christmas. It's a movie that's just too overplayed, and that's why it's fucking cool to hate that movie. But what I'll say is this: I think Clark Griswold's gonna win. He's who I would vote for. But Mr. Parker, the father, is a fucking fascinating character, and I don't want to say too much because you haven't seen the movie, obviously. But he's really good. He's really good. But I think Clark will win. I just watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on Friday. Still fucking number 2 behind It's a Wonderful Life for me. And Clark is, hallelujah, holy shit, where's the Tylenol?
But next up, we've got Santa Claus from A Christmas Chronicles up against Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Man, Ralphie, get the fuck out of here. Kurt Russell's Santa Claus, he's gonna sing his way to a high tier spot because he's awesome. I haven't even seen the sequel yet, but just from that first one, he's still awesome.
Yeah, this is one I think Santa Claus is going to take it out. Like Christmas Chronicles is one of those ones that I think a lot of people are appreciating more now that with the sequel. But yeah, I'm not going to say too much about the sequel because Matt hasn't seen it.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Christmas movies, but that was not one of them this week. I also have not watched the Star Wars Holiday Special, the Lego one. I've seen the original one.
I kind of wish I'd put some of them high up on my list of them. But anyway, but next up we've got Jovi from Elf up against Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation.
Ooh, that's a pretty good matchup, actually. Pretty good matchup. Sure was full.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting one. I'm probably going to lean slightly towards Cousin Eddie. But I mean, as far as Elf characters go, Joey's probably my favorite character in that movie. But I think Cousin Eddie is better.
See, I love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Eddie is fucking obviously sure was full is just one of the best moments and lines in that movie. I might be leaning more towards Jovi. Comes down to this: when I was a child, I had a crush on Zoe Deschanel in that movie. So sometimes your heart's always full of Christmas. It's gonna lean towards. Never had a crush on Randy Quaid. Although when he said "Hello, boys, I'm back" in Independence. Now, if this was Russell K, I might be leaning more towards it. But no, I love both of them. But yeah, I think the problem with Eddie is like he's a punchline through and throughout the movie, and he's great, but like he's not a well-developed character. Jovi is a more well-developed character, whereas Cousin Eddie, he's fucking hilarious. I love that movie, and he's a big part of why I love that movie. But he's just like there to be dumb and to be made fun of.
But yeah, the next matchup we have is a fascinating one. We've got Scott
I
Calvin.
don't remember Joe Marsh in Lethal Weapon.
It's Scott Calvin from The Santa Claus up against Joe March from Little Woman, which is totally a Christmas movie. It does take place during Christmas.
We know who Malcolm had on his list. I've never fucking seen Little Women ever, but Scott Calvin is my favorite Santa Claus, so Scott Calvin.
Yeah, I mean, I like Scott Calvin as the Santa Claus. He's great. I mean, this is one that when I saw this matchup, I was like, oh shit, who am I going to vote for? Because I do like both of these characters really much. So this is going to. I'm leaning slightly to Scott anyway. But if Joe manages to pull out this victory, I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't? I would be very surprised if people are going to vote for. But all right.
Next up, we've got the exception to Scrooge that I mentioned earlier, Frank Cross from Scrooged.
That's not an exception. Frank Cross is not Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes,
He's Frank Cross. He has similar things happen to him that happened to Ebenezer Scrooge, but he is not Ebenezer Scrooge. There's no exceptions. He is.
Well, I mean, I only said it. I agree with you. It's one of those ones that people argue like when I say it's like I'm going to have the one version. But anyway, I've got Frank Cross from Scrooge up against Harry, one half of the Wet Bandits from Home Alone.
Frank, pretty easily. I love Harry and Marv, but Harry and Marv are a duo. Harry and Marv are a duo. You know, Harry is probably my favorite of the duo because I enjoy watching Joe Pesci trying not to curse in a children's movie, which is so fun. That movie came out in '90, and then the following year it's Goodfellas. And if you watch him in Goodfellas, that's like apex Joe Pesci just being able to curse like a sailor. But Frank Frost, it's Bill Murray, who is my favorite comedic actor. It's a funny take on Scrooge. It's the only Christmas Carol movie that I like because the Disney one is a short. It's not a movie. And he's funny throughout, the whole time when he, first he fakes it's at first he thinks it's just a dream, and like, I mean, all the shit at the beginning, like with the fucking like live version they're trying to do of A Christmas Carol, and he's trying to just make it bigger and crazier. But then also you get all the great stuff with oh god, the character's name escaped me, but with Karen Allen. All the stuff with her, it's all great. So yeah, I'm giving the slight edge to Frank Cross, though I think Harry might be able to pull it out just simply because what I was afraid about this list from the very start is I feel like this is going to come down to people more voting for the movie than the character. Like people are going to be like, I love Home Alone, so I'm going to vote for the person from Home Alone, not really the character so much, but like
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's one of my fears as well. But it's like how people vote is how they vote. It's ultimately it's not. We can't tell them how they vote. Like,
there's nothing you
and
can do.
and to answer one question, like as I said, like at the start, like with
Whichever
this
one
is
you
about
want to vote
this is
for.
about the character. Like each version of Joe's basically around that same kind of thing. So it's just going to be, which is why there's only one Grinch, there's only one Ebenezer Scrooge. Each Santa Claus is different, which is why there's multiple Santa Clauses. But anyway, the next matchup, we've got Mary from It's a Wonderful Life up against Cindy Lou Who from The
Who's no
Grinch.
more than 2. Santa Claus, why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? Mary, like, fucking Cindy's great in the 2 versions I've seen her in and in the original book, but she ain't no fucking Mary. Okay, Mary's awesome, and she kind of saves the hero of that movie at the end of the movie. So it's Mary. And I bet you a bunch of people are going to be like, yeah, but Matt in the 2018 version. And I'm like, fuck off, it's Mary. Because
Yeah, I
Cindy
mean,
Lou 2 is just no more than 2, guys. It's right there in the original source material.
but I mean,
Frankenstein's monster said so.
yeah. For me, I'm probably going to go Mary as well. I love It's a Wonderful Life. But I mean, Cindy is one of those ones that I wouldn't be like that could.
But again, this is one of these matchups where I'm afraid people love the Grinch more than It's a Wonderful Life because the Grinch is in color and not black and white. Because we forget that they colorized that movie. But look, I like Cindy Lou Who in the Jim Carrey version where she's a more developed character. I think she's really good. But Mary's just more interesting.
Yeah,
Once again, she technically sees the day at the end of that movie.
I mean, for some, I mean, it's another one that for some of these, like, it's going to come down to if they've seen the movie too, because I know that It's Wonderful Life is one of those classic movies which either a lot of people have seen or a lot of people haven't got around to seeing it or just don't want to watch old movies. So
Once again, it was fucking animated and fucking if George Bailey was like, whoa, gosh, fucking doing whatever fucking Benedict Cumberbatch's Grinch is doing, people watch it, but oh no, people sit and they talk about shit. Fuck, can't have that for kids, can we?
but anyway,
this stream will be named Matt loses his shit about people not watching It's a Wonderful Life.
But anyway, the next matchup we've got the Grinch up against Del Griffin from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I forget this was a holiday, not Christmas, because why is this called Christmas characters and not holiday? Because that's a Thanksgiving movie.
I mean, I just labeled it, but as I like when I was asking for the list, I didn't name it holiday movie characters then. So.
Oh my god, this fucking hurts. Oh, Grinch is gonna win because fucking whatever. But god damn it, for me, I don't know which one to fucking vote for.
But yeah, the next matchup we have is we've got.
You have no thought? on
I
this
mean,
matchup?
I mean, my thought is, I think the Grinch
I've
is
never
going to
seen
win.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
No, I have seen, it. I saw it for the first time this year.
Oh, thank God, finally. God,
I just don't like the character Del Griffith.
what the fuck? You got to the end of that movie and you somehow don't like Dell? Excuse me, Malcolm, I would just like to ask, on a scale of this to the black of that poster behind you, how black is your heart? Just wondering. What the fuck? The things I learned. Wait,
But
what?
anyway,
Oh, look at the next matchup. What? Why'd someone put that on their list?
the next matchup we have is Kevin from Home Alone up against the Ghost of Christmas Present from Scrooged.
Okay, from Scrooge. Okay, you know what? That's very important. I thought that was Christopher Carol. So I'm like, what? You fucking what? Really? Okay. Um, Kevin. I just like Kevin. He's interesting. I think he embodies a lot of young kids in a big family to where they don't feel recognized and everything. And also, guys, he's like 8 to like 12 between both of the movies. He fucking is like a genius, more so than I ever was at that age. And now, there was Abby on Twitter had this whole thing of Kevin versus John Wick, and if Kevin had like 12 hours of prep time, could he beat John Wick? And he could. I said so. I said it in the thread, and people tried responding to me for whatever people fucking went and responded to solely, and I was not the only person who was talking about Kevin winning, but they guys, leave me the fuck alone. Respond to Abby, not to me. But that's just a Twitter thing. Yeah, Christmas Present's great, but she is not the best ghost that visits Frank in that movie. That would be Christmas Past, Niagara Falls. But I digress. I think Kevin will win anyway because most people haven't seen Scrooge.
I mean, I think Kevin will win regardless. Because I think this is the one where the ghosts, like in any Christmas Carol, like the ghosts don't really do a lot, and
they're only a part of the movie for an extremely short amount of time. They're only there for a certain section. And essentially all they are is they're just the transporter. They're nothing else. Like they're just they're exposition dumps essentially. Except for the fucking ghost of the future who doesn't talk. But first two are they're just exposition. They're just like, this is where you are, this person can't see or hear you, and this is what's happening.
But in saying that, with Scrooge specifically, Carol Kane is great as the Ghost of Christmas Present. She's just entertaining.
Oh, she's fantastic. She just repeatedly keeps hitting Frank. It's great.
Yeah, but anyway, the next matchup we have is going to be an interesting one. It's going to involve a big argument on if a movie is going to be a Christmas movie or not. But it is. It is in this list. John McClane from Die Hard is up against Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life.
Jesus Christ.
No, Jesus Christ didn't make the matchup.
Oh my! The nativity story, Joseph and Mary. Look, I'm not having this fight because I personally, and I did a whole Twitter thread about this. I don't give a shit if you consider Die Hard. Like, I more lean towards like, which hopefully he'll be on here in a little bit. I lean towards another action film being more of a Christmas movie, but regardless, like this is kind of tough. And what's tough about this is I feel like we can only count John McClane from Die Hard and Die Hard 2 because they're the only Christmas movies in that series. Fuck, he's probably a little bit. I love Clarence. Oh, god damn it. This fucking sucks. John McClane You know what? I'm not even sure who's going to win this because I feel like this is going to more start a war of people going like, they might vote for Clarence just to prove the point that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. So I don't fucking know. I do love Clarence. I don't know who I'm going to vote for yet. And I don't know who's going to win because it depends on if our watchers believe Die Hard to be a Christmas movie or not.
Yeah, I mean, and it's probably going to, once again, as we talked about Mary before, it's going to come down to how many people have actually watched It's
Watch It's
Wonderful
Wonderful
Life.
Life. Guys, every
But what
fucking
I'm,
year
but
on NBC.
But what I've decided is that is going to be the first match I'm going to put post to Mo just to get that debate out the way.
Well, because Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie. Everyone agrees with it. No one fights it, so.
But anyway, the next matchup we have is Arthur Christmas versus Walter from Elf.
Make this list. Malcolm, do you want to take this first? Or?
Yeah, I mean, having recently seen Arthur Christmas this year, I'm going to go for Arthur Christmas. Walter's a relatively forgettable character from Elf. So, yeah.
The fuck? Did you just say the best character in Elf is a forgettable character in Elf? Wow.
Yep.
You fucking no, Malcolm, you just all right. I never fucking seen her for Christmas, so no. And I feel like I don't know what to feel. I don't know if that's a super popular movie or not. So, but yeah, I'll be voting Walter on this one.
But the next matchup we have is going to be an interesting one because we've got two animated characters going up against each other. We've got Klaus from the animated movie Klaus that came out last year, and we've got up against Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas.
I have never seen Klaus, but I'm going to be voting Klaus on this one. No, I'm kidding. I don't hate Jack Skellington at all. No, I haven't seen Klaus, so I mean, I normally tend to skip when you like for the horror movies. I just didn't vote when I had only seen one because I don't really feel like that's fair. Because like if I saw Klaus, I might like it better. I might like that character better than Jack Skellington is an interesting character. I love the fact that he becomes so like excited about discovering Christmas, and it reminds me of the and then when he actually is Santa Claus, like even when the army is like shooting at him, he's still super happy and he doesn't get what's going on. Like I like that. So yeah, I think my problem with Nightmare Before Christmas is like people's problem with Christmas Story, which is it's just too fucking overplayed for me. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
one thing I'll say is I recommend watch Klaus because I think you might enjoy it. It is pretty good. Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
That's what I was asking. I was asking it's Netflix or I'm trying to watch a couple new like old Christmas movie that I've never seen. I mean, I know it's only a year old, but I've never seen it. Like I requested Santa Claus the movie from '85, so I'm trying to watch some new ones this year. So I'll since I'm on Netflix, I have Netflix. Maybe I'll watch it. I'll do a triple feature with Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2 and Klaus. Might do that.
Yeah. But yeah, like my thoughts on this, I'm probably going to lean towards Klaus on this. Like I do like the character of Jack. He's great. Like Night Before Christmas is one of those ones which I've watched many times. I mean, although it's not to the extent of Elf, like I can watch Night Before Christmas and still enjoy it, unlike Elf, which I've watched many times and just don't.
For you. Yeah,
but Night Before Christmas has like kind of is really mixed, but like I still enjoy watching it. But there's a few characters I think I enjoyed better in that than Jack.
Oh, really?
Um,
I think
yeah.
Jack's my favorite character out of all of them, though. I mean, he sings my favorite song, which is "What's This." I think that's such a great song.
Oh, I do like that
I
song.
listen to that
I mean,
song
I mean,
out
I
of
mean,
season all the time.
I mean, for me, I actually really like the character of Oogie Boogie.
A villain? Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
Hey, no one said you can't like villains. I mean, so many
Who
people.
the fuck?
Uh,
You know what? And this is the thing. This is just I've always gravitated towards the good guys. And so when people are like, "Yeah, my favorite character in Star Wars is Darth Vader," it's just like, "Really? All right." Because I've always been Superman. Like grew up reading Robin Hood and King Arthur, so I've always been like stoic hero saving people. I've never been like, man, Sheriff of Nottingham's where it's at in the Legend of Robin Hood.
but anyway, the next matchup we have is we've got Ebenezer Scrooge up against Marv from Home Alone.
Suck brick, kid. I want to vote for Marv. Just to piss people off. Kids are scared of the dark. You're scared of the dark too, Marv. Santa Claus don't visit the funeral homes. We're the wet bandits. It's our calling card. We're the sticky bandits. Enchanté, mademoiselle. Yeah, I love Marv. Ebenezer Scrooge in the play is great, but I have accept Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer. I've yet to see a film version that I really love.
I mean,
No, that's not true.
I don't.
The Man Who Invented Christmas, I liked that version.
I mean, I personally don't like Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer myself, but never mind. But the next matchup we have is got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer up against
retitle to Matt and Malcolm lose the friendship.
How many times have we disagreed on stuff and still maintained our friendship?
Fuck, probably more often than not. I'm probably gonna say. I think I agree with a lot of stuff on Abe, but I think you and me, our friendship is partially built off of disagreeing on shit.
But anyway, the next matchup we have is we've got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer up against Willie T. Soak from Bad Santa.
Yeah, Willie T would probably make Rudolph's nose red. Oh my god, I love Rudolph, but I'm voting Willie. Just solely this on the first one because I don't like to remember that the second movie exists. But like Willie's a really interesting character. Like Billy Bob Thornton's fucking hilarious in that role, but he's also got this like he's a really shitty person, but he has this heart underneath all that shit that you get by the end of the movie, and it's fucking. I do love Rudolph, and I do love Rudolph as a fan of underdog. Rudolph is a consistent underdog throughout that film, but Willie,
Yeah.
he's like, what do you mean? What's wrong with my gear? My fuck stick. That's a joke, an adult joke for us because we're adults.
But yeah, for me, this is probably one I might just not vote on myself because
Oh, you haven't seen Bad Santa?
No, I've seen Bad Santa.
But you haven't seen Rudolph.
I haven't seen Rudolph, but yeah. I really hate I'm not a big fan of Bad Santa. So.
That's a movie that I can totally understand why you wouldn't like that movie, dude. The other week on Saturday, because I rented a bunch of movies and my family were trying to watch a movie, and my mom's like, "Oh, what movies did you rent?" I was going through. I was like, "Bad Santa," which I am not watching with my mother. Whoa,
but
time the fuck out here. We're almost at the end, and there's a character not on this list that needs to be on this fucking list. This whole list is kind of fucking bullshit. But sure, continue.
I mean, it could also be because you were the only one that put him on a list.
How the fuck was I the only person who? Well, wait until the
But,
end.
any,
Just wait until
but
the end.
anyway, the first matchup we have for the last two, we've got Howard from Jingle All the Way up against Billy Mack from Love Actually.
Sorry, I'm responding to someone. Wait, Billy Mack from what?
Love Actually.
What the
Bill
fuck?
Nighy's character.
Who gives a shit? Did he have the cookie? Was he the towel man? I don't think so. Love Actually. Go fuck yourself. It's trouble time. I got it. I got it. The rock'em sock'em jetpack. I got it. But they did not get the toy. Not at all. Yeah. Howard should win this.
But yeah, I mean, Love Actually is one of those Christmas movies that is one of those ones that a lot of people really it's gotten a really big backlash lately. Like, there's more people I know that
Sucks.
that are not a big fan of it. That
Yes.
actually like it. Um, but yeah, I mean,
Malcolm, but
I
that's
think,
another Christmas story. Once a movie gets very popular, it becomes cool to hate.
but anyway, I mean, but regardless, I mean, for some reason, a lot of people seem to like Jingle All the Way. I don't get it.
Because it's it is a
So,
story about a man, a father, trying to rekindle relationship with his son and going literally to the ends of the earth to do so.
so I think Howard's going to win the battle,
Who
but
told you
but
to
I
eat
still
my cookies?
but I'm still going to vote for Billy Mack
I
regardless.
don't give a fuck about Billy Mack. I
But
bet you
anyway,
Howard's gonna win this entire thing.
I mean, it depends on who he goes through. Because if Howard wins this one, he's going to go up against the winner of Lucy
Yeah, I
from
know.
While
Yeah,
You Were Sleeping and George Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life.
all right, Sandy B. Get the fuck out. You're gonna be knocked the fuck out of sleep because George Bailey's winning this whole fucking thing. Okay, because that one character I mentioned isn't on here, which we'll talk about in a bit. George Bailey is George Bailey, so yeah. I mean, but see, this is the thing. He's going against While You Were Sleeping, which like I don't know, Malcolm, you probably love that movie, but like, I don't think I think more people have seen It's Wonderful Life than they've seen While You Were Sleeping. So I feel like George Bailey's gonna slip the fuck through it. If he loses in the first round, I'm fucking done with this tournament. Just, I'm fucking over it. Every person who votes for Sandra Bullock in that, I'm kicking you from the group. So just be prepped from that now. And I'm an admin. So as He-Man would say, I have the power. Okay?
But anyway, but, but some characters that kind of were really high up that only just because
Go on.
with the last few seeds like Chris Kringle, Lucy, and Ghost Christmas Past are all tied on 28. So just outside of the bracket, some of the characters that were brought up, um, Dudley from The Bishop's Wife,
No one cares.
um, Doris Walker from Miracle on 34th Street, which I'm surprised that Chris Kringle from that
Yeah, I'm
wasn't.
really surprised Chris Kringle didn't make it there either. It's really weird, but
Um,
alright. Ivor version.
yes, Martin Riggs was up there. Did
Do you
anyone
want
else?
to? Do you? You think
Yeah,
it's
you're the
crazy?
only one
Oh,
that
you
had
think it's
them on
crazy?
their list.
How the fuck am I? Okay, look, guys, stop it with your bullshit about Die Hard being a Christmas movie and actually just accept the fact that Lethal Weapon is a better Christmas movie over the fuck all. Okay? You think I'm crazy? Huh? Yeah, you think I'm crazy?
Um,
Fuck this.
and other characters that were brought up, they just didn't make the cut. Jack Frost from Jack Frost.
Yeah, that hurt, but that's also what I love that movie. I think people from my generation who like people from my generation and generation before like who saw the movie in theaters or like we grew up with it as like a movie that was always on TV, or I never owned it on video. We always watched it on TV. But I do feel like it's a movie that hasn't gone past those two generations.
Well, I mean,
Sadly,
four people had them on the list. One of them, I think, was myself.
well,
So,
again, when I
yeah.
say those
I mean, it's one of
generational
those.
things, I'm not trying to keep as like this is our thing, but I just mean that like because we do span in age variations here in Take Three, which is great, and so I think that movie is just like the people from the generation who like grew up with it, we love it, but like I mean, I love Jack Frost, but I can tell you if I ever have kids, I mean, I love that movie, but I don't think when it's like, oh, they're old enough to really sit down and watch movies, I'm not gonna be like, one of the first Christmas movies you need to see is Jack Frost. No, they're gonna see Lethal Weapon will be their first Christmas movie. Because I'm cool.
It's a fine movie. It's just fine.
What,
But
Jack Frost or Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon.
I'm gonna fucking smack you across the face.
I mean, I love Jack Frost.
So do I. Jack Frost.
I mean, let's put it this way. If I wanted to, I could have made sure my list to get a few characters on there, which would have thrown everyone. So I thought out of.
All you see, and that's the thing, is that to have done that, all you need to do is just like look at the bracket, see characters you like, and just put them really high in your own personal thing. That's all you had to do. I do have some people that didn't make mine, but if you're still going for honorable mentions, go.
Well, I was just going through a couple bit. Drew from Drew from Surviving Christmas was one that could have made.
Oh, and I thought I just watched that movie.
I know at least one person had them at the top of their list, but it just wasn't enough to get them on.
Who knows? I just want to meet the person who had that character at the top of their list.
That would have been Steven. So he had.
I don't know who Steven is, but Steven, you seem like a smart man to choose a Ben Affleck character as your favorite Christmas character. You seem like a smart man.
Susan Walker from Miracle on 34th
I mean, literally
Street.
any of those characters. Chris, Susan, and oh my god, my name is escape and Fred.
Yeah.
It's so weird none of them made it.
I don't think Fred was even brought up at one point.
I brought him up on my list.
Well, in which case he would have been on there, but no one else did. But one that I would have loved to make the list, just to throw it all out of whack, is Billy Batson from Shazam.
It's a Christmas movie. Takes place during Christmas.
Yeah.
That's why it's so fucking weird. It got released. It's like how they released Batman Returns in June. It's the same shit. It's like that was a fucking November movie. You should have released that in.
I mean, I was like, they didn't intend for those to be a Christmas movie, quote unquote. But it just happened to take place in Christmas. But
that's my thing, is that the settings are at Christmas. Well, I mean, fucking Die Hard and Lethal Weapon were the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just fucking release dates of movies. But I mean, hey, look, Miracle on 34th Street came out in May. So, know, the studios just don't know what the fuck they're doing in Christmas movies. Let's just say that.
But is any other characters that you're surprised didn't sort of get on there?
Just looking at my own list just to see. I'm surprised Frosty didn't make it. I guess maybe just because most people just think of Frosty maybe just from the song. Just looking at my own list to see who didn't make it. Walter made it. I'm surprised Kate McAllister from Home Alone didn't get her way through. Catherine O'Hara, because she's such a great part of both of those movies. I'm surprised she didn't find her way through. And yeah, there's nothing. I mean, if you're talking about villains, Mr. Potter didn't make it, but again, I feel like most people were putting characters that they liked, not that they liked to hate. But yeah. Martin Riggs, man. You know. Look, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Just sorry.
But with that being said, this is the end of the bracket breakdown. But you can find me on Take 3 as always, hosting that Take 3. I'll probably try and do at least one more episode before the end of the year. But it won't be this week anyway. But this week on Rankum, it's going to be DreamWorks movies. And I'm probably going to have it on Friday this week, just because I'm I'm busy on my Sunday, which is the usual set day.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do whatever you want to
so I'm going to do it a day early, just because why not? And I like throwing chaos into the wind.
Why not?
But as I said at the end of last week, I've got to find the things. On December the 19th is going to be top 12 movie centers. And then there will be the last episode of Rankum for this year. And then I'm going to start back in potentially the 2nd of January, but that date may vary. Maybe
Were there 12 movies that came out in 2020?
Hey, I mean, there was.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
I mean, there was a lot of movies that came out in
Can the
2020.
second week of January be top 12 movies we wish had actually been released in 2020?
Hey, I mean,
Oh,
there was movies that came out like there that they were streaming and that. So I mean,
no, there are movies that came out. I know that, but I'm sorry.
But yeah,
It's two.
but you can also find me over on Full Metal, where you host Full Metal Classic and Full Metal Random. This week, tomorrow, actually, to be precise, is going to be a Big Bang Theory match of Tim Bukala taking on Matt Graham, taking on Colton Roberts. Matt, where can people find you?
You guys, as always, can find me cracking myself up all over this channel. But on Twitter at Kearns_Matthew, at Movie611 on YouTube, and Patreon, it's Kearns_Matthew, because I have a Patreon now. So if you like the shit I do, and you want to give me money for it, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And you can also find me right here as the host of Second Look and Fandom Podcast. New episode of Second Look will be coming out this month. Fandom Podcast will not be coming out because struggling with really pin down a guest. So in lieu of that, Second Look will be coming out, and it'll be a movie, which is a Christmas movie, but not a Christmas movie a lot of people think about. So have fun guessing what that movie is. It's not Lethal Weapon. I'll tell you that right off the bat. Although, in retrospect, that probably would have been a really great episode. But honestly, I should just do a fucking video about why Lethal Weapon's a better Christmas movie than Die Hard. But that's a different thing for a different time. But yeah, so, and I'm also on Rankum and Late Night if we ever do that show again, if we just have more 99 and quarters. Fucking let's do another tier and just piss ourselves off the entire time with infighting.
I mean, if I do another tier list, I'm probably going to actually plan it how to get. So I'm not just sort of because I mean that was just literally last minute. Was like,
yeah, that was last minute, but that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's great.
But
Saw Denuzo tried to steal our thunder last night. We see you, Paul. We see you. We saw what you did. We saw. Malcolm's like, Matt, don't start shit.
Oh, no, I mean, like, because when I put the picture on, he hinted that he was going to do it eventually anyway. I was like, I don't mind, I don't own the rights to tier lists. Anyone can do them. I'm not going to
No, we do.
moan
We
that
actually,
I'm
Take3 has
using
bought
the
the
tier list.
rights to tier lists. We actually bought
But
the rights to tier lists. So Paul, sorry, you're done.
But until next time, I'm going. See you on Friday for Rankum. I don't know what I'm going to say to end this,